Namaste. I'm Lorilyn, and thanks for being here. This is week 3 at Lake Tahoe Community College, spring quarter 2020, and we are going a little deeper into our breath work today, and I'm also introducing some new poses. So we are beginning today in Svastikasana for our opening breath work and meditation. So come down onto your mat if you're not already, and take a blanket underneath your hips for support. Now cross your right shin in first and take your left to the outside. Tuck your foot underneath your shin. Make sure there's a nice triangular shape between your inner shins and your inner groins, enough that you could fit your yoga block right down into that little spot, okay? Next, take a look at your knees. Your knees should be equidistant from your hips, so one knee is not moving forward more than the other. The other thing you want to check in with is making certain that your knees are either level with your upper ilium right here, your iliac crest, the top part of your pelvis. You can place your hands there on those bones and you'll find it very easily. You want to make sure that your knees are either on the same plane, on the same level, or a little bit lower. If you're finding in this pose, which is common, okay, that your knees are kind of up a little closer, maybe your back is rounding a bit, aching even, what that indicates is you need more support underneath your hips. So take another blanket or sit on a couple of your yoga blocks like this. But get those hips up so that the thighs can lower down, the inner groins can lengthen, and maybe even most important, you can be comfortable in this position. This is Svastikasana, auspicious pose. Now catch hold of your knees, turn the eyes of your elbows up, spread your collarbones, like your collarbones have a little smile as they spread and lift just a little bit, and then level your chin and close your eyes. Now bring your palms together at your sternum chest and turn the base of the thumbs right into the sternum chest. So you're pressing firmly into your chest and drawing up with those hands to lift the flesh of the front body a bit more. Let the shoulders relax down, the elbows point down. And with your eyes closed and your lips moistened, let your tongue relax in your mouth. And turn your attention to your breath. Just notice how it's moving in your body right now, where you feel the expansion or where you feel the breath moving. And then let that breath start to deepen and lengthen. Enjoy your breath. Full inhalations, and as you breathe in, try to expand the lower ribs first, then the middle ribs, and then the upper ribs. Now as you exhale, exhale from the upper ribs to the middle ribs to the lower ribs. And then draw the belly in at the base of the exhale and kind of wring out that last little bit of stagnant breath. Hold your belly firm there. It's called Uri Anabandha, an energy lock, a seal. And then let your next inhalation, again, draw down into those lower ribs, but you're keeping your belly firm. So you might be able to get more expansion into those ribs. Can you feel your side ribs as you inhale, swinging up and out? And as you exhale, swinging down and in. Do you notice any movement in your back ribs? In your front ribs? Let's begin our practice now. Let's begin our practice now with 3 Oms. Exhale Inhale to begin, and we're going to do them all together. Exhale to begin. Inhale. Catching on to that vibration in your body, bow your head to your heart. As you surrender the intelligence of your head to the intelligence of your heart, we take a moment at the beginning of our practice to give homage, to give thanks to those who have gone before us on this path. Sage Patanjali, the author of the Yoga Sutras 2,500 years ago. This is the Yoga of Patanjali. Sri B.K.S. Iyengar, Guruji, and all our gurus, all our teachers. And we bow to our greatest teacher, the truth, the part of the divine that resides within us all. Taking a full, deep breath in with that chin bowed. Feel the breath fill up the back body a bit more, a little more ease to do that. And then as you exhale, float the backs of your hands down to your thighs. Turn your palms to face up and relax the fingers. As you inhale, bring your chin smoothly up to center with your eyes still closed. And then as you exhale, open your eyes. We're going to practice a little bit of breath work. We can call it interrupted inhalations, just a cultivation of the rhythmic breath before we go a little deeper into our asana practice. Take one hand to your belly. Take one hand to your sternum chest. Lift your chest. Draw your belly in. Now, take a breath or two just down into your navel. Just right down, let the belly expand. And again, I promise it won't stay that way, but let the belly expand. And notice what happens in the rib cage as you take the breath intentionally deep down into the hips, into the belly. It's pretty stable up there in the rib cage, right? That's one way your diaphragm, the big muscle that assists you in breathing, works. We can fill up down here in the belly. Now, as you exhale, draw that navel in towards the spine. Hold it there firm, engaging Uddiyana Bandha, a little lock, a support, a seal inside your body. Now take the next breaths up into the rib cage. With that belly firm, notice it's staying firm, keep it firm. You'll feel more action up in the rib cage, right? Good. Now, release your hands back down to your thighs and let the arms relax. We're going to take a breath in, a 6 count. So as we inhale, you're going to breathe down into these lower ribs first, then the middle ribs, and then the upper ribs. So it's an inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as you breathe in. And as you exhale, same count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now close your eyes and take a few breaths, keeping the belly firm and expanding into the rib cage, letting those lower ribs expand first as you breathe in. Find your 6 count. And as you breathe out, still keeping your belly firm, same 6 count. Try to press the breath out of the top ribs, then the middle ribs, and then the lower ribs. Another round of breath when you're ready. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now open your eyes. Now you just did a 6 count, inhale and exhale. Well, we're gonna break up that inhalation halfway. So we're gonna inhale for 3 and pause, and then inhale to 6, pause, smooth 6 count exhalation. Think you can do that? Okay. Close your eyes again. Draw the navel in, keep the chest lifted, shoulder blades together so that the collarbones stay broad. Take a natural round of breath to begin, an inhale and an exhale. And here's our first interrupted inhale. Inhaling, 2, 3, pause. Continue your inhale, 4, 5, 6, pause. Exhale smoothly, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now do that again on your own. Take your inhale in and pause at 3, and then pause at 6. Smooth exhale, no stopping. As you complete your final exhalation, open your eyes again. And let's take it one step deeper. We're going to inhale at 2 to 2, pause. Inhale to 4 and pause. Inhale to 6, pause. Exhale, smooth and even. Okay? I'll count you through the first one, and you'll do 2 more after that. Close your eyes. Take a natural breath in, your natural breath out, and now inhale, 2, pause. 3, 4, pause. 5, 6, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue on your own. Hear your count in your own head. Take a few more rounds just like that. Don't forget the pause at the top of the inhalation at 6. Now, as you approach your next inhalation, just take a full smooth inhale, no stops, no starts, natural full breath. And a natural full exhale. Good. Open your eyes. Learning to breathe properly is very important to include in your asana practice. It makes it more effective, more fun, safer, and healthier. Now let's go ahead. We've been in this position for a while, so let's change the cross of the legs. Just check to see that the right shin was in first. If not, that's okay. Just switch which way you have your legs engaged. But move through straight legs. Open up the backs of the knees, wiggle your toes, and then change the cross of the legs. Bring your left hand to the floor next to you. Lift your right arm above your head. And as you exhale, crawl that left arm out. Bend the elbow and sway off to the left. Look up underneath your arm. Reach for the crown of your head. Press your right hip down. Press away with your left hand. Take one more breath. Firm belly, keeping that belly firm. Inhale and rising up. Lift your left arm. Exhale and sweep yourself over to the right now. Let the right elbow bend, the right shoulder release away from the ear. Reach for the crown of your head, turn to look up. Push down into your left hip, left sit bone. Press away with your right hand. Now, we're going to bring breath into this. As you come up, breathe in. Lift right arm. As you exhale, breathe out. Sway over to the left. Look up. As you inhale, lift your left arm. Exhale, sway over to the right. One more time, each side. Inhaling up and exhaling over. Inhaling up and exhaling over. Inhale up, keep right hand on floor. Exhale, bring left hand down to floor. Now reach arms forward, interlace your fingers for Urdhva Badanguliasana. Turn your palms to face away, have your thumbs touching. Tighten the elbows, press down with your thighs, and then lift your arms above your head. Deep breath here, open up through the roots of the fingers, through the center of your palms. Roll the pinkies back a bit. Keep grounding down to rise up. Push down with your thighs. Keep your belly firm. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release the arms down. Turn the palms to face up. Reach the arms forward again. Inhale. Opposite interlace of the fingers. Tight to the roots of the fingers, thumbs touching. Press down with your thighs. Firm your belly. Inhale, straight elbows and lift the arms. Roll your pinkies back. Keep the upper arms as close to your ears as you can. If right about here, that's fine, or right about here is fine, but straighten the elbows, and then one day, whoop, maybe they'll come up next to your ears. Roll the pinkies back again. Little bit more. Tighten the elbows. Reach up with the arms. Press down with the thighs. Exhale, arms down. Turn palms to face up. Give those shoulders a little bit of a roll around. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Turn the eye of the elbow up. Plug that shoulder in. Shoulder blade in close to your spine. Bring your right hand behind you, and on your exhalation, twist. Draw the belly in. Keep pressing down with the thighs. Turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Ears are level. Take one more breath. We're going to sweep all the way over as you exhale, all the way over to the other side. Just flow it over to the other side. Press down with the thighs. Lift your chest. Turn the eye of your right elbow up. Plug the shoulder blade in. Exhale and twist. Firm the belly. Can you bring your navel in a little closer to the spine? Push your sit bones down a little bit more to lift your chest. Look over your left shoulder. Keep your tops of your ears level. Tops of your shoulders pressing down. One more breath. As we exhale, we're going to come back around to the twist. Exhale and roll yourself around. Turn to look over your shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Exhale around to the left. Press down with the thighs. Inhale, lift the chest. Take one more breath, and then back to center. That's a little bit of a flow, right? Now we're going to come to all fours on our mat for tabletop pose. If possible, try to just roll over your ankles rather than swinging your knees out to the side. If your only choice is to be able to swing the knees out to the side, try to switch the way you swing them out each time until you are able to roll over your ankles. Just keeps your knees in a little better alignment that way. You can take your blanket for extra support underneath your knees if you'd like. And then come to all fours on your mat. Spread your fingers wide. We want the hands to be slightly turning out, just slightly turning out, and then pressing down underneath the index finger and underneath the thumb. So really grounding down along the inner edge of your hand, keeping the outer edge nice and light, those bones nice and light, okay? Now straighten your arms and turn the eyes of the elbows forward. Draw your belly in, take a peek between your thighs. Make sure your feet are facing straight back from your knees, from your hips. Now, as you inhale, gaze up. Lift your chest, lift your chin. As you exhale, round. Tuck your chin into your chest and your tailbone in towards your forehead. Let the collarbones come together and the shoulder blades broaden. Inhale, forwards and up. Collarbones spread. Shoulder blades engage onto the back. Exhale and round. One more time. Inhale, flow forward. Keep using all of your rib cage. Fill it up with breath. Exhale and press it all out. Now come to a neutral spine. A little bit of a balance practice here. Reach your right arm straight out and turn the palm to face centered, like towards the midline of your body. And imagine that someone has a hand maybe pressing up against your arm and you're resisting that pressure. So it's moving in towards each other, moving in towards center. You're not letting that arm splay out. Now, reach your left leg out. Point the toe. Imagine someone's pressing on the inner thigh and you're resisting that inner thigh to come in towards midline. You're not letting them push that leg away. Now look up, lift those limbs just a little bit, take a deep breath in. Exhale, round, bend your elbow, bend your knee, curl yourself up. Inhale, extend back out. Now cultivate that breath. Exhale, keep the belly firm, curl it in. Give it one more extension. One more round, curl it in, and then back to the mat with the limbs. Feel a little heat building? That's good. Reach your left arm out. And again, imagine someone's kind of pressing into that hand and you're keeping it from moving out to the side. Reach back with your right leg. Draw your belly in, point your toes. Take a deep breath in. Lift those limbs a little bit higher. Somebody's pressing on that inner thigh. Don't let the leg splay open. Exhale and round, belly in towards spine, chin into chest. Inhale, stretch it out, look up. Exhale and round, draw it in, everything in towards midline. Final extension, inhale up. Exhale, curl, and then back to the mat you come. Walk your knees wide for child's pose. Slide the big toes together and rounding your spine, press the hips back to the heels. Again, you can always place a blanket right behind the knees if the knees feel a little bit tight or you have modified knees. And then press away with the arms. You can take your forehead to a block and breathe into your practice. Breathe into your back. Breathe into your hips. Now if you're using a block under your forehead, move it to one side. And then walk your hands over to the right side. Your hands may come off the mat, they probably will. And then push away with the arms. Kind of press that left hip back down. Roll it down. Take a nice stretch through the whole left side of your body. Even walking the arms over a bit more. And breathing. Feel a stretch through even your armpit, yeah? Now, still firm belly, deep breath. Inhale. Might take you a couple of breaths to get over to the left. Take your time. Keep your hips centered over your heels. And stretch through the right side of your body. Roll that right hip down. Walk the hands over a little bit more. And breathe. Keep your jaw relaxed. Your forehead soft. Oh, expand those ribs with your breath. Firm belly, rolling the hips down. Slowly walk yourself back to the mat. To traditional Adho Mukha Virasana, downward facing hero's pose. Now with your next breath in, walk yourself up to kneeling. And if you're using a blanket, you move it out of the way now. And then come back to all fours. Spread your fingers wide for our first standing pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And we've been just touching on this pose in the last couple practices. Let's make sure our hands are properly weighted to protect our wrists and our hands, especially those little bones on the outer edges of your hands. Look at your hands and roll the flesh of your hands from the pinky side to the index finger side. Roll them down and first knuckle and underneath your thumb. Now, turn the eyes of your elbows forward. Bring your shoulder blades together onto your back. Tuck your toes under. And we're just going to float our knees up off of the mat, just like a couple inches, maybe 2-3 inches. Lift your knees. And then lift your shoulders a little bit higher. So those arms become even more straight. Turn the eyes of the elbows forward. Firm your belly. And then slowly now, start to straighten your legs. And come up high on your tippy toes for this first little part. Stretch the roots of the toes. Straighten the knees. Take the kneecaps in towards the back of the knees. And now reaching through the back of your ankles. Feet are hips distance wide. Like someone has a hold of your ankles. You have an imaginary helper. Hold of the ankles, and then you're going to reach those ankles back and down towards the mat. Let your head relax and check in with that. Just nod your head yes, shake your head no. Roll it around and stretch your face. Now, if your heels aren't touching in this pose, that's okay. Maybe one day they will. It doesn't matter. It's not a prerequisite to enlightenment to have your heels in downward facing dog pressing onto the floor. But do push your upper thighs back. Do firm your belly and draw your front ribs in. Do press away with your hands. Keep that weight on the inner edges of your hands. See if you can lift your pinkies. That'll tell you. And now walk your feet to your hands. Walk your hands to your feet. Take your time. And when the two come together, release your hands from the mat. Bend your knees deep enough that your torso can rest on your thighs. And then take the edge of your hand, pinky edge of your hand, tuck it into the crook of your elbow, and let the arms dangle. Let the shoulders relax. Let the head and neck relax. Keep your knees in line with your feet. Don't let the knees shrink in. And breathe here. You can imagine you have like extra weights on those elbows, drawing the elbows down closer to the floor. Lift your hips a little bit higher as long as the torso doesn't move off of the thighs. Let that be your gauge for how deep to stretch those hamstrings. Breathing here. Head is relaxed, throat is relaxed. Take one more full breath in and full breath out. Remember your 6 count? And then let the arms just ragdoll down. Catch hold of your shins with your hands and rounding your spine, tucking your chin into your chest and keeping a bend in your knees. Slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. And then, once you're there, come up to the front of your mat. Find your yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, something like a book will work. Something about this size, or even a water bottle that you could press your hands into both sides on. Something like that would work too. So find your block and then come to Tadasana, mountain pose. Remember, the alternate name for Tadasana is Samastiti, equal standing pose. They're the same thing. Now take your yoga block and place it into your hands like this. I'll come in a little bit closer so you can see. I'm pressing my palms into the sides of the block quite firmly. My feet are hips distance apart. Let's all do this with our feet hips distance apart today. The arms are straight, block is straight out in front of you. Let the shoulders drop down away from the ears and level your chin. Good. Holding here, draw your belly in, press down into your feet. Can you lift your toes? Try to lift your toes. Good. So the balls of the foot stay on the mat, but the toes are lifted. Now, lift your knees. Good. Draw your belly in and up again, and lift the arms. Holding on to this block creates an entirely different action with the arms, doesn't it? Press your palms into the block like you're trying to make the block smaller. Broaden your chest, spread those collarbones. Bring your front ribs in and down. Reach the arms up a little bit higher. Reach your side ribs up a little bit higher. Good. Reach your back ribs down. Take one more breath. Exhale and slowly lower with straight arms. Good. Move the block out of the way. Did some good work for your shoulders there, didn't it? Our second standing pose, our third standing pose, is tree pose or vrikshasana. So it's a practice in balance. What helps in vrikshasana is keeping your gaze very steady and slightly above eye level. So keeps your chin slightly up just a little, helps you lift the front of your body, but keeping those eyes steady and soft is everything. We call our gaze points drishtis in yoga practice. So your drishti for vrikshasana should be just above eye level, straight ahead, and maybe there's something on the wall in front of you or in the yard in front of you or wherever you're practicing. It's just a little spot that you can kind of focus on. So find that little spot and then bring your palms together, or bring your hands to your hips. Now turn your right foot out 90 degrees. You should feel your inner thigh roll to your outer thigh and the buttock kind of tucks under. Now lift your right heel. Bring your left hip in and then press down into the outer left heel. Spread your left foot. This left leg becomes your tree trunk. You can use a chair for extra support or you can come to a wall if you'd like, all right? Now slide your right heel to your inner left ankle. Find your drishti, your gaze point. Take a 6 count breath. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel steady, breath deep, gaze steady. Let's lift the foot up off of the mat and bring the foot to the inner shin. Good. Still steady with your gaze, steady with your breath. Bring your palms together. If you still feel steady, you can bring your leg up a little bit higher by catching hold of your ankle and drawing the heel into the inner thigh. And then you can lift your arms wherever you're at in your pose. If the foot's on the floor, that's fine. The foot's on the shin, that's fine. Just find your breath. Keep your core engaged, that belly firm. Press your right knee down and away. Reach up with the arms a little bit more. Maybe bring the palms together if you can keep the elbows straight. And exhaling, palms to sternum, chest, hands to hips, and your foot is back to the earth. Good job. Take a few breaths. Wiggle your feet, wiggle your body, and then let's go to the other side. Feet together in Tadasana, hands on your hips. Turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Inner thigh to outer thigh. You're wrapping that muscle around the bone. Tuck your buttock under, and then lift the heel. Bring your right hip in and down, in and down. Firm your right leg. Now slide your left heel to your inner right ankle and pause here. Feeling your breath, find your drishti. Find a balance here between stability and softness, or strength and softness. If this is going okay, lift your foot up off of the mat and bring your foot to your inner shin. Press your left knee down and away. Lift the front of your pelvis. Keep your belly firm. Bring your palms together. If you took the foot up onto the inner thigh on the last side, do the same here. If you didn't take it up on the other side, don't do it here. And then lift your arms. Reach up with those fingers. Imagine you're holding a block between those hands. How's that change your arms? Now, if the arms can stay straight, you can bring those palms together. Deep breath, full breath. One more inhale. And exhale, hands to sternum, chest, hands to hips, and bring your foot back down to the earth. Good work. Step your feet nice and wide. Toes turn slightly in, heels turn slightly out. Bring your hands to your hips. Prasarita Padottanasana. We're going to come forward over our thighs, keeping our hands on our hips. Take a deep breath in. Firm the legs. Press into your outer heels. Lift your inner ankles and come down. Let the head release down. Lift your shoulders away from your ears. 2 breaths here. Final breath here. Press down into your outer heels. Straight spine. Inhale and draw yourself back up. Good work. Now, extend your arms out to your sides and turn your right foot out 90 degrees for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Turn your left foot in just about 30 and make sure your front heel to back arch alignment. Take a little peek. Level the hips. Draw your left hip in and down just like you did in tree pose a moment ago. Exhaling, bend your front knee. Bend your right knee and track your knee right over your foot. So your shin is straight up and down, and possibly, if your stance is wide enough, your upper thigh bone is straight up or is parallel to the floor as well. Now lift through the crown of the head, turn and look over your longest finger. Stretch the arms away from each other. Reach back just a little bit more with that left arm. Deep breath in, shoulders over hips, strong lunge, press the knee open towards the little toe and come up. Inhale, straighten your leg. Turn your feet to face forward, keep your arms extended if you can. Firm the muscles of the arm to the bone. Suck those triceps in. Now turn your left foot out 90 degrees and turn your right foot in your 30 degrees. And make sure that you haven't offset your feet. Draw your right hip, rather than popping it outside, draw your right hip in and down. So this right leg becomes very firm. Take a deep breath up the front of the body. Exhale and lower your front hip, bend your front knee, and take a peek at that knee. Can you get that thigh straight, parallel, the bone of the thigh parallel to the mat? Can you get your shin straight up and down? Good. Reach through that right arm just a little bit more. Take the buttocks down, take the belly up, sternum bone up, turn your head, breathe here. Feel the warrior strength coursing through your body. One more breath. Inhale, straighten front leg, turn the feet to face forward, bend your elbows, bend your knees, step or hop your feet back to Tadasana. Good work. Find your yoga blocks. And place them the back of your mat about as wide as your feet were just now. And then standing in front of the blocks, in the center of the blocks, come back to your standing pose, Tadasana or Samasthiti. Bend your elbows, bend your knees for Hasta Padasana, hand-foot pose. Take an inhalation and step or hop your feet wide and extend your arms. Take a peek down at your feet and make sure they're doing what you think they are. The toes are in line with each other. The toes are turning slightly in. Now this is Utthita Parsva Konasana, extended side angle pose. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees. Turn your left foot in 30. Level the hips, don't let that back hip pop up. Take a deep breath in up the front of the body, firming that left leg. Exhale, bend your right knee. Now take your left hand to your hip and reach forward. Take your hand to the block on the outside of your right ankle. Right hand to the block on the outside of your right ankle. Turn that eye of the elbow forward and then turn the torso forward. Take your left hand and bring it to your lower side ribs. Draw those ribs around just a bit more. And then reach your left arm straight up to the ceiling. Turn the palm to face your head and sweep the arm over your ear. Press through your left heel, outer heel, reach for those left fingers. Turn to look up. Take one more breath. Take a peek down at your front knee. Make sure that knee is staying in line with your foot. And then inhale, look forward and come up. Straighten your arms. Straighten your legs. Turn your feet to face forward. Turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Angle your right foot in 30. Take a deep breath up the front of the body, firming that right exhale, bend your left knee and come to warrior two. Now, right hand comes to your hip as we prepare for Utthita Parsva Konasana, side angle pose. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand to the block on the outside of your left ankle. Turn the eye of the elbow forward. Bring your right hand to your lower side ribs, left side ribs, and turn them forward. Feel the rotation of your torso. Take your sacrum forward. Take your sternum bone back. Keeping that right leg firm, reach your right arm above your head, and then turn your right hand to face your head and sweep the arm over your ear. You feel the stretch along the whole right side of your body. Press into your outer right heel. Use that entire foot. Take a look at your knee, your left knee, and make sure it's still tracking over your left foot. And then look forward. Take one more breath. Rise up, inhale. Straighten your legs, straighten your arms, turn forward, bend your elbows, bend your knees, step or hop yourself back to Tadasana. Take your blocks. Place your blocks, about hips distance wide, a little wider than your hips. Stand behind them. Have them about 2 inches to the outside of your little toes and about 4 inches forward. This is Uttanasana, forward extension pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Press down into your feet. Lift your chest and gaze up. Breathe in. And then exhale, reach forward through the crown of the head. Come all the way down. Take your hands to the blocks. Walk the blocks in so they're in line with your pinky toes. And then come halfway up. Little back bend here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Reach the chest forward. And then as you exhale, bow back down. Lift your hamstrings and press down into your feet. Deep breath. Let the head cool. Lift your shoulders away from your ears. Come halfway up as you breathe in. And then bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up as you breathe out. Now move your blocks out of the way. They did a nice job for you, didn't they? Reach your arms straight out to your sides. I'm going to teach you something new now. This is Baddha Mani, or bound wrist or bound hand pose, and it's behind us. So it's Paschima Baddha Mani. Paschima means western, and that's the back side of our body is the western side. Turn your palms to face away. Bring your arms behind your back. And then just slide your hands together so you've got a hold of your wrist. Roll the shoulders back so the chest stays very broad. Now your feet are hips distance wide. We're going to come into a forward extension. Inhale, same thing we just did a moment ago, Uttanasana, but without the blocks, with our hands bound. Take a deep breath in up the front of the body and gaze up. As you exhale, reach as far forward as you can. Keep those elbows back as you lower down. Deep breath here, holding on to the wrists. Firm legs, lift your knees, let your head release down. Now pushing down into your feet to come back up. Inhale and come back up. Good. Release your wrists. Find your blocks. And actually, you don't need your blocks. So leave your blocks where you have them. This is Parsvottanasana, side stretch, intense side stretch. And we're going to do the same thing with our hands. So it looks like this. Just watch for a moment. And I'm going to demonstrate this pose. I don't demonstrate them perfectly, but I give it my best shot, okay? So hands behind my back, catching onto my wrists. Going to step back with my left foot and reach my front foot forward. So it's like I'm on railroad tracks. I have a little bit of space between my feet, my inner edges of my feet. Now firm my legs, squeeze my inner thighs towards each other, and then inhale and look up, holding on to my wrist, extending my spine, and then the exhale, we come forward, the hips shift, the waist shifts a little over to the right so that you can take a little bit of a twist as you come down and release your head down. Deep breath here, and then rising up. We step forward, and then we switch sides, okay? So coming to your mat, feet hips distance wide, reach your arms straight out to the side for Parsvottanasana. Paschima Baddha Mani in Parsvottanasana. Turn your palms to face away, the inner arms roll down. Bend your elbows, bring your hands behind your back. Learn this action. Catch hold of your wrists. Roll the shoulder blades together. Squeeze the elbows towards each other behind your back. Now, take a step back with your left foot. Straight back so that all 10 toes are facing forward. The back foot may be turned out just a tiny bit with the left toes facing the front left corner rather than straight ahead. Now, scissor the inner thighs towards each other. Take a deep breath in and lean back. Stretch through the front of your body. Gaze up. Educate those legs. Lift the knees. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, start to come forward. Draw back through your upper right hip. Shift your side waist over to the right. And let the head release down towards your thigh. Breathing here. Squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. Firm your hips. Draw your belly in. Take one more breath. Inhale and rise up. Exhale and step forward. Now, this is maybe a little tricky. Can you feel the way that you caught hold of your wrist? And do you think you can switch it? So notice which hand is like on the bottom, okay? And just make a note of that. And then straighten your arms. Turn the palms to face away and bring the arms behind you again and change the clasp of the arms. So you're still holding onto your wrist. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the elbows towards each other. Take a big step back with your right foot. And again, the right toes can have a slight angle towards the right front corner of your mat. Hips face forward, left thigh draws back. Press into your back foot as you find your back bend and gaze up. Urdhva Mukha, upward looking pose. Reach to the crown of the head. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Trust your legs. Take one more breath. And then exhale. Start to come forward. Draw your left hip back. Shift your side waist over to the left and bow over your left thigh. So here you are. You're in a forward extension. You're in an inversion. You're in a bit of a twist. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Relax your head. Final breath here. Belly firm, legs firm. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, step forward and release your arms back to Tadasana. Roll your shoulders around. Give them a little bit of a break. That was a good job. One more standing pose for our practice today. Virabhadrasana 1. Virabhadrasana means warrior pose. Virabhadra was a mighty warrior in the service of the great god Shiva. More on that later. Right, you can channel a little more warrior energy and then we'll be down on the floor before you know it, okay? So warrior 1, come to the long side of your mat and come to Tadasana. Bring your hands to your hips. Take your feet hips distance apart, all right? Now bend your elbows and bend your knees. We're gonna take a hop apart, but not a really big hop or step apart. Make it a modest little hop or step. Inhale and step or hop those feet wide, okay? Now, bring your hands back to your hips. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees. We're gonna bring the pelvis, the front of the pelvis, all the way around to face the right foot. So we have to lift that back foot and turn the waist, turn the torso, and turn the back heel. So now your feet are in the same position they were just a moment ago when you were in Parsvottanasana. The back toes are facing the front right corner of the mat, and the left toes are facing straight ahead. Hips face forward, squeeze your elbows together, and lean back into that back leg. Now bend your front knee. Now lift your arms. And reach back with those arms. Keep the back legs straight, and use these legs. Press down into your feet to lift up and lean back a little bit more. Final breath. Channel that energy. Keep your lunge strong. Look forward. Straighten your front leg. Bring your hands back to your hips and turn your feet to face forward. Second side. Right foot turns out. Left foot turns out 90 degrees. And then you're going to bring that right leg all the way around. All the way around so that the back toes face the same corner in the front. Hips face forward. Straighten the legs. Squeeze the elbows together and start to lean back just like you did a moment ago. Now bend your front knee and lift your arms. Deep breath here. Enjoying this moment, enjoying the stretch, enjoying the pose, and strengthening so much here. One more breath. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, face the front of the mat, the long side of the mat again. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. Step or hop yourself back to Tadasana. Good work. Now, come to the long side of your mat. Come to the front of your mat, the standard front of your mat. And in Tadasana, reach your arms above your head. Just take a big full sweep of the arms. As you exhale, bend your knees slightly and come forwards and down. Now brush your fingertips onto the floor. Keep your knees bent. Inhale and lift your chest and lift your arms for Utkatasana, chair pose. Really kind of like sit back in a chair. Make sure you can see your toes past your knees. Exhale and bring your fingertips all the way down to the mat. Come up high on those fingertips. Bending the knees deeper. Let the hips sink down and lift your heels. Lift your heels. Squeeze those inner ankles towards each other. And then maybe the hands can come up off of the mat. Maybe the hands can come to Namaste. Breathing here. Lift your heels a little higher. Let the hips drop down just a little bit more. And then sit down and celebrate that little bit of balance pose you just did there. That was really good. Find your blanket and place it underneath your hips for Dandasana staff pose. Remember, this is a foundation pose for all of your seated poses right here. So take a look at your feet. Feet are in line with each other. One's not in front of the other. Take a look at your knees. The knees press down. The knees are straight. Take a look at your upper thighs. The thighs press down. The belly draws in. Then bring your palms next to your hips with your palms facing forward. Push down with those arms to lift your chest. Take a few breaths here. Reach through your heels. Keep those legs firm, the belly firm. We're going to lift our arms above our head in Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Press the hips down. Breathing here. Legs are straight. Spine is straight. Arms are straight. Take one more breath. And then turn your palms to face away. Like you're going to push yourself to the surface of the lake. Press the air down on either side of your hands. And then return your hands back to Dandasana. Find your yoga strap. Taking your strap, place it around the balls of your feet for Paschimottanasana, Western stretch. You want it on the balls of the feet, not on the arches of the feet, and the arms very straight. Good grip on this strap. Press through your heels, push down into your upper thighs, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Paschimottanasana, Western stretch. One more deep breath here. And then bend the elbows. Pull the torso forward. Reach for the crown of your head. Bend your elbows out to the side to keep the chest broad, the collarbones open. Each inhalation takes the head a little closer to the feet. Each exhalation brings the sternum bone closer to the thighs. Now, if your elbows are bent deeply, like mine are, you can walk your hands a little closer to your feet. But let's keep working with the strap. Even if you can grab your feet, release that impulse to do so. Keep working with the strap. Stretch the bottoms of your feet with the strap. Reach those heels forward and the crown of the head forward. Take 2 more breaths. Slow them down. Maybe even find that 6-count breath again. Into the back goes the breath. And inhale. Half lift, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale and release the strap. Now come off your blanket for bridge pose and find your block. I want you to just watch this brief demonstration to make certain that you stay safe. Because I'm not there to watch you in person or help you make adjustments or catch little things like that, you have to discipline yourself if I'm going to teach this. You agree? Okay. So in bridge pose, we don't want to turn our head once our hips are up off of the mat. The neck is a little bit vulnerable in this position, and if you turn your head, there's a chance you may kind of like get a little kink in your neck, and that's so not what you're here for, right? So once your hips are lifted up off of the mat, there will be no more turning the head. Got it? You promise? Okay. Now just watch. I'm lowering down. My feet are in line with my hips. My heels are in close to my hips. Roll my shoulders under, and I'm going to make sure that I know where the block is so that I don't have to turn my head. Okay, so I know where it's at now. Now reach my arms down next to my sides, turn my palms up, tuck those shoulders under. So the inner arms roll to the outer arms, the collarbones broaden. Now I'm going to press down into my feet, tuck my tailbone under, and start to lift my hips, sending my thighs up and my knees forward. Now I take the block and I slide it underneath my sacrum. At either height 1 or height 2. Height 3, unless you're working with a cork block or a wood block, can just be too unstable, all right? So this is level 2 right here. This is level 1 right here. This gets the job done just fine. And then palms turn up. Today, are you still watching? Today, well, I'll give you the option of doing Ekapada, Setubandha Sarvangasana, one-legged bridge pose. Okay? After about 10 breaths here, we'll lift the hips, we'll move the block out of the way, and just kind of lengthen everything as you lower back down. Got it? Now my hips are back on the ground. I can turn my head. It's safe. Okay? All right, let's do. Finding your block. Roll yourself down very slowly. Very slowly. Try to just come down vertebrae by vertebrae. Tuck your tailbone under. Press each vertebrae down independently and keep your belly in towards your spine. Lower yourself down. And then once you're down on the mat, walk your heels in close to your hips. And have your knees in line with your feet. Feel your feet in line with your knees. Spread your feet, bottoms of your feet, and push them down. Reach your arms down next to your sides. Turn your palms to face up. Roll your shoulders under. Now, no more turning your head. So just listen, don't look. Tuck your tailbone under and pressing down into your feet, start to lift your hips. Send your knees forward and your thighs and your sacrum up towards the ceiling. Without turning your head, find your block. Slide your block underneath you. Have the block on your sacrum, not on your spine. So it's sacrum, it's a little bit of upper glute. It's not on your vertebrae of your spine. Then arms straighten, palms turn up, shoulders tuck under. Sternum bone reaches to the chin. The head stays neutral, and breathe. Bringing the sternum bone, the crook of the collarbones to the chin, creates another energy lock or a bandha called Jalandhara Bandha. Right there at the throat. It siphons the breath. It starts to slow the breath down for you a bit. Your final bandha is right at your pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Just find a little bit of an engagement there. It's going to firm your pelvic floor. And now, lifting the left leg straight up towards the sky. Just like in the beginning of your practice, where you had that imaginary pressure on the inner thigh, you're resisting that pressure, do that here with both legs as well. Take one more breath. And if this left foot lifted, you can reach the heel up, stretch the back of the knee and the calf and the hamstring, or you can point the toe and get a little more of a stretch through the front of the shin and the top of the foot. Just feel where you need it. And maybe it's somewhere in between both. Exhale and slowly bring the leg back down. Plant your foot on the floor mindfully. And then inhaling, draw the left knee in and straighten the left leg. And again, same thing here. A little imaginary pressure on the inner thighs to keep them from splaying open. And then flexing and extending the foot and just noticing where do you need it the most. And then hold it there. Or again, maybe it's somewhere in between. Deep breath, inner thighs moving towards each other, belly firm, sternum bone reaching to chin. Don't turn your head. Take your final breath. Exhale and slowly release the leg back down. Take a few more breaths here. Just enjoy your pose. Slow your breath down. Smooth it out. Maybe returning to your 6 count breath. And now we prepare to come out of the pose. Maybe you want to come up on your tippy toes. Give yourself a little more space. Lift your hips without turning your head. Slide the block out of the way. And then catch hold the stuff from the back body and lengthen it and lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. Once your hips are back on the ground, you can turn your head. Hi, good job. And then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Hold on to the backs of the thighs rather than the shins. And draw the thighs in towards your side waist. Find a little space between them. And just rock side to side. Give yourself a nice lower back massage. Come to center. Bring the legs together and the feet together. Take a deep breath in, a full breath out. Then lift your forehead to your knees. Bring your knees in towards your forehead and just round your spine. And then inhale and bring the head back to the mat and bring your feet back to the mat. Draw your right leg in and bind on with both hands behind the thigh. Roll your shoulders under, straighten your left leg. Reach for the heel of the left leg and press down into the upper left thigh. This is Ekapada Pavan Muktasan. Nice lower back release, very good for your digestion. Pressing a little bit on your intestines. Deep breath here. The knee is a little bit more in line with your armpit than your sternum chest. So it's just a little bit off to the side. Take one more breath. Keep that left leg active. Exhale and bring your left leg in to meet your right. Give yourself that little hug. Rock side to side. Massage the sacrum. Maybe little circles. And then come to center. Bring the feet together, the knees together. Inhale. Exhale. Lift and round again. Inhale and bring the head back to the mat. Catch on to the back of the left thigh and straighten your right leg down the mat. And strive to have the opposite interlace of your fingers best you can. The left knee is a little more in line with that left armpit. Squeeze the thigh in. Press your upper right thigh down. Keep the right leg working. Look up at the ceiling. Roll your outer shoulders down. Spread your back ribs. Deep breath. Can you move some breath into those back ribs? Check it out. Maybe you can. Final breath here. Next inhalation, bring your right leg in. Give yourself a little hug again. This time, bring your hands to your kneecaps. Straighten your arms. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, draw the thighs in. As you inhale, open it up. As you exhale, draw them in. Do that just one more time. Nice little massage. Inhale, straight arms. Exhale, knees in. Good. Keep your knees right here. Reach your arms out to the side in a T shape or in an I surrender pose. All right, whatever you have space for. Lift your feet high enough that you can see your toes past your knees. We're going to take a gentle twist to the right. Head turns to the left. Take a deep breath in. Keep those thighs in close. And exhale, knees over to the right, head to the left. Yeah, so you're piking the hips, drawing the knees in, keeping the feet in line with each other, knees in line with each other. Firm belly, inhale, and come back up. Adjust those feet. If they've dropped down a little, bring them back up so you can just see the toes. Thighs are in close to your belly. Inhale. Exhale the knees over to your left armpit. Turn your head to the right. Keep the feet together. Press down into your right shoulder. Firm belly. Inhale back up. One more time each side. Adjust the feet. Squeeze the thighs in. Exhale, knees up into that right armpit. Turn your head to the left. Inhale and come back up. And exhale, knees in towards the left armpit. Head turns to the right. Inhale, back up. Hold on to the backs of your thighs. Give yourself a little hug. Wiggle your feet around, roll your ankles around, and then bring your feet down to the floor. You've done so much good work here today. It's time for your Shavasana. So find your yoga blanket and place it underneath your head so that it comes right to the edge of your shoulders, but not under them. And then different options for your leg position. If your lower back feels a little sensitive, walk your knees wide and let your knees just rest on the mat, on each other, like let them TP in on each other. Or you can bring the pads of the feet together and let the knees open up wide. And that might feel really good and relaxing as long as you're not overarching that lower back. Another option, straightening the legs and letting the feet fall open to the left and the right, letting the inner groins roll open, and then arms down to the sides with the palms facing up. Snuggle the shoulders in, snuggle your hips in. All together, let's take a deep breath in. Sigh it out and close your eyes. Let yourself just do a few little organic wiggles or movements. Maybe that's just rocking the hips back and forth a bit, or stretching your hands and then closing your hands and then opening them back up. I'm just going to get the last little bit of movement out of the body. And then let yourself settle in. Moisten your lips. Then draw your tongue back into your mouth and let it rest on the lower palate away from the sides of the teeth. Jaw is relaxed, hinge of the jaw falls open. And inside the mouth, it's dark and quiet and hollow, spacious, a lift in the upper palate. Notice the muscles around your eyes. And let the little muscles around your eyes soften, relax, and broaden. The eyebrows underneath the eyebrows relaxes. The space between the eyebrows softens. And the eyes fall back into the head. Bring your awareness to your nostrils. Let the nostrils relax and gently flare. And take the breath in, cool and fresh. Notice the muscles around your ears. Let them relax, and even traveling down your ear canals, softening and smoothing them out. Your skin. Imagine that you could turn the fibers of your skin inward. And you could feel inside your body. Let the skin relax away from the muscle. Let the body soften as if you are snuggling down into a fluffy white cloud. And as you snuggle down in, that cloud starts to float and support you. And you just drift. With no worries. Because you're safe. And you're loved. And you have everything that you need. And you just drift and float. Content. And loved. And abundant. Feeling your cloud underneath you. Let it gently start to float back down with each exhalation. When your cloud is back on the earth, hovering over your yoga mat, just let it disappear and dissolve the way clouds do in the sky. Just little puffs of white fluffiness, blue sky, and then the cloud is gone. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Take a 6-count inhalation and a 6 count exhalation. And then start to bring a little motion back to your fingers and your toes. Just wiggle your toes and brush your thumbs across your fingertips. Then roll your wrists and your ankles around in little circles, one direction and the other. Turn your head side to side. Sweep your arms above your head. Take a big, full stretch and sigh it out. Bend your knees one at a time. Shift your hips a few inches over to the left, and then roll completely over onto your right side. So you're curled up like a little baby in the womb. Eyes are still closed. Take a few breaths into your back. Feeling the space that you created and the peace you created in this practice. You worked hard. Good job. Now rising up out of Shavasana it's an art. It's graceful. It's smooth. You want your head to stay very heavy, like a ripe piece of fruit just about to fall from a tree. It stays very, very heavy as you take your hands to the floor and you just walk yourself slowly up, maybe straightening your top leg to help you do that. And then come around to seated. Take your support underneath your hips now that you know the appropriate height. Cross your left shin in first. Take your right to the outside. And then bring your palms together in Namaste at the sternum chest. Close your eyes, level your chin, and we'll dedicate our practice. Taking the gift of our practice, we send it out into the world that it may be used for the best and highest good for all beings everywhere. May all beings everywhere be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. And may they be at peace. May we all be happy and healthy and safe and at peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. See the gift of your practice radiating out from your heart on little beams of light. And then let it dissolve and let it go. And know that your gift has been received. Together, we seal this practice of union. Yoga means union. Union of body and mind and spirit. Union of our spirit with the universal spirit, with your God. We offer one Om, the sound of the universe, the sacred sound. Exhale to begin. One Om. Inhale. And bow your head. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, float the backs of your hands down to your thighs with your palms facing up. And with your chest well lifted and bright, and your eyes still closed, take a 6 count inhale to bring your chin up to center. And the whole 6 count to open your sparkly, beautiful eyes. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for doing your yoga on behalf of the entire universe. I thank you. And from the light in me, the divine light of God in me, I honor that same light that exists in you. Namaste.